Danger, 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 danger. Hey, Dr. Tim Blake here. Danger is often a call we have that when we face situations where we need to move, that there's some obstacle, there's something in the way. Now, and we need courage. We need to be courageous and need to rise up courageous. So here today, we're talking about rising up with courage. Taking a look at what it is really to be courageous and to live in such a way that we're living with what God has for us, to take the courage to move forward. And again, the verse for last week and this week is centered on Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. See, it's all about the dynamic of having the strength to move and the courage to move. And actually, there could be two move actions that are going to be related to courage. Because sometimes it's about the taking action, it's the movement that's necessary, the courage to engage. Other times when you're under attack, it's actually the courage to stand firm. See, both of these things are dynamics that exist related to courage. And certainly courageous is the act of being engaging in courage. A related verse you want to point to just to help us kind of gauge this prospect, 1 Corinthians 16:13, be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. This one, of course, attends to the standing firm level of courage versus the action level of courage. But regardless, courage is the action of engaging. And we're able to engage as we trust in God, trust in his strength, trust in his guidance, trust in what he has for us. Now, to help us understand this just a little bit better, and take you to the Hebrew word, and just at the analog meaning of the Hebrew word, the actual language element, and the Hebrew word in the analog in the English is spelled amatz. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Amatz, I don't know. It does emphasize the meaning of the word. Is a strength to move forward in the face of adversity, drawing on God's power. We take a look here at Joshua then. In Joshua in 1:9, it was moving into the promised land, and depending upon God, there was a big challenge. And Moses been taken out of the picture. Joshua stepping into leadership and said, "Hey, 1:9, have I not commanded you be strong and courageous, and we'll be with you wherever you go. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged." It's going to be discouraging things. There are going to be things to be afraid of. As we talk later after this, there are things that are going to be fearful and discouraging even in this day and age. But the courage to take action, to follow what God is going to do, and to trust that God's going to do what he says he's going to do. Besides Joshua 1:9, the command again was repeated or preceded that in Deuteronomy 31:6, and there's similar areas. And this, I believe, was talking to Israel and Moses here. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. See, the very essence of God with us is should be able to give the courage, be able to give what is needed and necessary, to act boldly without fear. And a term could even be bold surrender, to have the courage to trust God to do what you will. Another verse related to the meaning of amatz is Isaiah 41:10. Again here. And so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. We talked about that right hand of strength recently here. The power. Take note that it's all about moving ahead, moving forward in the face of fear, in the face of difficulties, in the face of what you don't understand. Take the steps forward, that or hold firm in terms of where you're anchored in to get where God's got to get you to go. Now, I talked about Hebrew, that there's always an analog and there's always a visual component, a step above the analog, even though it's not well taught. And so look into that and just pull it up. The visual elements of it are what the letters in the Hebrew, the pictures that they mean. And so the three letters here in the Hebrew, Aleph, Mem, and Zata, or however you pronounce that. And so Aleph is that of an ox. And the picture that I've got back here, and you see the ox, and the picture is actually the visualization, a visualization, and it takes the AI that indicating something that connects the three letters of a visual image. So you've got one here behind me. So strength, the visual image is that of an ox. Mem, and the image is that of waves and chaos. And it's all about chaos and challenges, and you see that in the photo as well. And the third element is sade or sad, or however you pronounce it, where it's actually a hook. And the pull. And I had images that had that more direct hook level. It can also be a path. So really together, it points to the courage to draw strength from God, to navigate the chaos around us, to be pulled towards a higher righteous purpose. Again, it's the courage to draw strength from God, or in order to navigate chaos and be pulled toward a higher righteous purpose. It reflects action. Action in the face of difficulty, knowing that God's strength was going to guide us. Interesting note. So we cover a Hebrew word. I also interested in what does it say in the New Testament? What is the Greek term? What was it capturing in the Greek? And it's really the standing firm kind of dynamic that you find in the New Testament. And the Greek word is apparently tharseó with a umlaut or an accent on it. Tharseó. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's inner confidence. It's that inner sense of being able to be wherever it is, and to hold, and to be able to, again, either move or stand firm. But especially when things are really, really tough. So the verses verse that catches this, is Ephesians 6:13. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the evil day comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything to stand, in the concept of standing firm. Certainly some Old Testament scriptures, point to some similarity. Again, it's not the Greek word that would be found in here, but Exodus 14:13 or 14. And Moses told the people, don't be afraid, stand firm, and you'll see the deliverance of the Lord, will bring to you today. And this was at the Red Sea, mind you. The Egyptians you see today you'll never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be silent. That verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only be silent. They were grumbling, complaining. They're backed up against the sea, and the whole army marching upon them. Courage to just be there and to be still. That's part of the picture. In 2 Chronicles 20:17, you will not have to fight this battle. Take up your positions, stand firm, see deliverance. Lord will give you Judah and Jerusalem. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Go out and face them tomorrow, and the Lord will be with you. This being about one of the elements where there was a grand army coming against Israel. I think this maybe have been the 5 kings of all the areas coming against him, and it says, don't be afraid, don't be discouraged. It's overwhelming, but God will meet you and take care. You gotta act. God goes with you. Face it. Engage it. Don't be afraid. See, that's the very essence of courage. Now, going back to the Greek word, besides the standing firm, there's an element of it that's about take heart. We got a lot in the New Testament of take heart. And those are very words of courage. Matthew 14:27, but Jesus immediately said to them, take courage. Take heart, it is I. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. He's with us. He's there. He's engaged with us. You know, we have the capacity to live in whatever we face and have the courage to either take a step to move or take and engage and stand firm. Take heart. Have the heart guidance system be centered so much in God that doesn't matter what's coming against you. It doesn't matter what's going. If you got an action to take, you're going to go do it. If you need to stand pat, you're going to do it. That is being courageous. Whether you move, you act when God tells you to move, you discern when God tells you to move, and you take the steps. Now notice, that if you move when you think you know what's going on, like they did with Israel and the country of Ai, and you end up with a big collapse and big difficulty, versus following when he says to move and standing firm and moving out, all about what God has for you in his time. So think for a moment. Just think for a moment. What are your personal challenges that you're facing right now? Yeah, and maybe you don't have any. Great for you, but generally there are some that are going to exist. Even the challenge of just performing day to day, of growing and moving forward. So what is God calling you to do? Is there steps he's calling you to take to act? Is he got something really hard? You need to settle down. You need to stand firm. You need to rest. You need to get through. And as you do that, where are you finding your courage? Where you're drawing your courage from before God? You see, courage is the very essence of depending upon God. You see that, you catch that here. You catch what God is doing in the midst of all this, in these elements, in these stories. You see, and the thing with courage, if we have the faith in who God is, we're able to activate the courage. If we have, what the certainty is in God himself, we have the capacity. If we have the elements of strength, we're going to be able to move forward. So those 5 elements that they go hand in hand: strength and courage. Strength as empowered by God, as we talked about last week. Are you strong? You have it, or are you scared? See, and we're going to be afraid. We're going to operate in fear. There's things much like the Israel facing Egyptians coming against them. And we live in things that are scary, and sometimes really, really bad things happen. Bad things are happening. Bad things are going to happen. But take courage, because God is with you. God will move. God will operate as he will in whatever's happening. Okay, because God ultimately is the one who set things in motion or allowed things. He knows what the timing is. He knows the time frame. He knows what's going on. And he's there with us. He doesn't leave us to sit there without him. And these circumstances that may be difficult, that we're standing firm and holding back, he'll provide what is necessary for his goodwill. See, part of the thing is God's ways are not our ways, and our ways are not his ways. And we get so caught up in ourselves. We get so caught up in what we want. And and we even get so caught up in fear. I can't move forward. It's something bad's gonna happen. It's gonna hurt. You don't know how much pain had happened. A lot of pain I have. How can I move forward? How can I take that action? Don't you know all the problems, like the 10 spies versus the 2 that no God will act and do what he says he's going to do? So where are you in your life right now? Again, now what is going on? And maybe you're at a good place in life, content and everything is well. Or maybe you're facing mystery, uncertainty in medical tests, other job challenges. Maybe you're over in southeastern United States and you don't even know how you're going to survive, and your whole life has been devastated. Courage. Rise up courageous because you know who God is. You know the very strength, and the very strength he moves you along to the path that he has for you and the way. Take a good look at that picture behind me. It captures the essence of courage. What are you doing? Where are you? What's overloading you? What is your pain? What is your hurt? What have you got to move towards, away from, or what do you need to do to just hunker down, settle in? And part of whether you move or you hunker down, you talk to God, seek God in the midst of this. Actually, an interesting thing, and as I go to the other segment, I'll hit on this today. Today is Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, it's a day of newness, a day of turning over, a day of taking new steps, a day in the Hebrew mindset where it's the opening of the book of life, and then the actions that are all dictate what gets jotted down for the year ahead, and what is that of life. It is a very, from God's perspective, and not some traditional, elements. It is the day, the call to attention, to pay to attention, to say, hey, there's something going on, and you need to seek me because we just crossed to the next thing. And when we cross the next thing, there's the need for courage, the willingness to engage where you need to engage and stand firm when that is necessary, and the wisdom and discernment to know which is which. Now, if you're stuck in a moment, you don't know quite what to do. We've got a promise in James if if you lack wisdom, ask him, and he will give it, a guaranteed promise. But really, how? I mean, what's he going to do? Verbally talk to me? No, he will make it clear one way or another, depending upon your relationship with him, because he is with us. If we're in Christ, he is with us. We've got the promises in terms of full access to his power because we're depending upon him, not because we're depending on ourselves. See, his courage isn't about self-dependence. If it's self-dependence, we're going to get annihilated. If it was self-dependence, the Jews would have gone down the way where the Philistines would have been battle after battle after battle. God brought them another way, and it looked like they were going to be wiped out, and he acted. See, you may be in a moment where everything's bearing down on you. You got no visible way of moving. And God says, be still and let me work. Other times, God's saying, yeah, okay, you take this step, you go over here, you do this, and now is the time to do it. So do it. You know where you're at. Even by doing this and other things where it's not been 100%, but this is an act of doing what God has for me. Doing what God has to do, having the courage to get beyond my own thoughts, my own difficulties, my own wounds, to engage this, and to engage this without even seeing where it's going, and engage this, say, hey, not everybody's jumping up and watching these things. Hey, not anybody's really popping up over when I put them on YouTube. Ain't spending money on anything in terms of ads or anything to generate anything different than just putting them out there. And what I'm doing now, opening up a little bit, we're going to put little blurbs here, little blurbs there, as you saw today. that are just a shortness to put things out where, again, nobody may pay attention. But the courage to act, even though I don't see immediate results, and to stand firm and to keep doing what God has me to do, and leaving the long-term fruit in terms of being fruitful and multiply into God's generating. Because I could follow this marketing plan here, this marketing plan there, spend money here, spend money there, and be chasing constantly a way to make things generate. But what God does, He'll do. And now there's some things I got to learn, things I got to do. But it's going to come down to what God has for me and trying to engage that in terms of true to how He made me to be and the messages He's given me for others. That in human wisdom, it may be too general, too broad, that it doesn't narrow down to the one person's specific pain. Because what I talk about and share about, any of the pain points relate to that, and the growth points are going to be interconnected. But there can be specifics too. And that, part of the specifics of what I'm teaching in terms of what may seem general is this very concept of life mindset. And life mindset is having the courage to receive and take a look at what you experienced, received, to be open and receptive, and taking what you've been given, even the harmful things, to refine and process and let God move into it to generate what is good, and to be able to separate from what has been the harm and gets in the way, and then in turn be able to produce that which is good to blessings for others, not just you. That takes some courage to move through that. And that's a life mindset where I'm going to have the courage to depend and trust on God, not to make my best life for me, but to give of my life, of what God made me to be, to be a blessing to others. So, and lose so that I may gain. It's not about building me, but building anybody and everybody. And it's going to take courage. It's going to take the ability to look and see that God will do what He will do, and He is faithful. And if He stirs something in you, He will bring you through to the point where there's completion. And He's active with you. He loves you. He cares about how He made you. See, and unfortunately, this past week I saw a quote from Watchman Nee that suggested, that surrender to God really involves you just even putting aside all our strengths and all that God's given us and all the gifting, whatever, just depend on Him. That's one of the areas that man had some faulty writing. You see, because surrender, in the courage to surrender and the bold surrender that is involved with this, is not about changing who God made you to be. It's about, recognizing there's gifts, but I consider it all for loss because I just want to do what God has me do. I'm going to have the courage to take those steps. All right, and I don't know, and it's now time to sit, and maybe I'm here and I've just got to find a way to survive because everything's flooding me, and I got to stand firm, and I know what's going to happen, and I don't know whether today is my last. Oh, you never know if today's our last. I can walk outside, boom, be hit by something like that. Any of us, any given moment. Heck, some of you have a medical test, you're doing fine, boom, medical test that puts your whole world into chaos. And yet you got to act and stand firm and have courage to face what you got to face, or not. But if you have the courage to see that God's going to meet you in your darkest valleys, and though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil. I've got a gentleman I become acquainted with in northern Michigan, a Bible study with, who's facing blood cancer. He's taking it on with courage and positivity and doing everything he's got to do because he knows God is with him, and whether he lives or dies, God has him in His hand. Another gentleman that I work with in Kingdom Pathways who's got really massive turbo cancer stuff going on that it makes no sense with the human condition to what may happen. There seems to be no hope. And whether he lives or dies, it's in God's hands. But he's having the courage to face it head on, day to day, find God in the middle of it and living his life before God, advancing with what he's got to do, standing firm, and knowing God will take him through. And that man, by the way, has several daughters and a single parent, whole relational issues that occurred. But God will operate and act. He can, just like that, make things well, but sometimes he chooses not to. Because he still works all things together for the good, and he's got his intent, his purpose, his story, and whatever it is. And we have the courage to engage and face and trust God, or get all caught up in ourselves. That's the path we face. So we'll let you reflect on that for a moment, and just quickly remind you of some verses just to think about this, that'll wrap things up on that end. Just think about what areas of your life God is calling you to take an action. Are there action points he's asking of you? Are there the points where you got to stand firm? And just a quick highlight of the verses on the courage. Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous, because the Lord is with us. Ephesians 6:13, put on the full armor of God to stand your ground. Put on the full armor, stand your ground. Matthew 14:27, take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. Jesus speaking, take courage. He is there. Don't be scared. Have the courage. Take heart. Exodus 14:14, the Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. In 1 Corinthians 16:13, stand firm in the faith and be courageous. Stand firm in the faith and be courageous. And rather than danger, 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 stand firm in faith and be courageous. Be courageous. Be courageous. Now, encourage you to visit lifemindset.life, lifemindset.life, for the things to connect with me further on these. And again, ask you to share this, ask you to comment, ask you to put things. I put out an offer of some things last week, and nobody posted anything to take it up on getting that information. I will put that in the Discover Life Mindset group when I get time to. I've got a lot going on to be able to generate what God has for me, putting things together for Mission October. And so those listening to this right now live, I do want you to stand firm for a minute, to hold tight, because I bring this to a close. I'm going to switch gears and engage in the watch and prayer of Mission October, and the thoughts for October 3rd, and just the prayer at a minimum. I don't know how long it goes. Last night went nearly 30 minutes. Today we just go through this. It might be quicker, but stay tuned. I'm going to close this out. And close this out with a piece of prayer. And then we'll engage in more prayer here shortly. Lord, Heavenly Father, I just lift up to you each and every person who's hearing this, whenever they're hearing this, at whatever time frame, whenever it may be. Lord, we know that you're active. We know that you're with us. We know that you care. Lord, provide the courage and the strength to those that are lacking. Give what is necessary to stand firm or to advance. Lord God, you know the hurts, the pains, the things that get in the way. Lord, open the eyes, the ears, and the heart to access you, and whatever the fears are, whatever gets in the way, Lord, give the courage and give them what's necessary to deal with the chaos, to be able to move forward because of the power in you. Pray this in your name. Amen. All right. This brings this segment to a close. It will be just a few minutes, and I will engage with you another link on Mission October. Watch and pray.